Hello, everyone. This is Bruno with the new segment called 10 Minutes or Less with Bruno No BS. A very simple and casual interview, no fancy cameras here. Today, I have the honor to speak with a legend in our industry, a roofer, a congressman, and now the CEO of NRCA, National Roofing Contractors Association, the voice of all roofers, my friend Reid. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Bruno, I'm doing good. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. I need to ask a couple of questions for you. The first one would be, how long have you been in the roofing industry?
Well, I had my own roofing company in Wisconsin for 35 years. And so then I went and I had this crazy time in Washington, D.C., and then came back to the roofing industry for another 3 years so far. So nearly 40 years I've been involved in the roofing industry.
40 years. That's a lot of time, man.
I'm an old person, Bruno.
I was not even born. So another question I have is, when did you realize roofing would be a career for you?
When I was growing up, I worked on a dairy farm down the road from our house. And my father, who was a Baptist minister, had a roofing business that kind of helped feed his family because it was difficult to feed 8 kids being in ministry. And so he had this roofing business on the side, and I learned it from him as a young man. And then I took over that business, and it was a small business when I was 22 years old back in the late 1970s. Then ended up growing it into a nice size commercial roofing company, ultimately selling it in 2009 to run for Congress.
All right. How did you get involved in the politics, and what made you go back to the roofing?
Yeah, okay, so the political thing was pretty straightforward. I was frustrated with what government was doing. They seemed to be over-regulating, over-taxing. I felt like I was working half my year just to feed the government and got to keep less and less of my own work. And so I got frustrated with it. And my oldest son challenged me to stop complaining about it and do something about it. And so I kind of put your money where your mouth is challenge. And I thought, well, why couldn't I run for Congress? Why couldn't like a regular citizen who has no political experience run for Congress? That's kind of what our founders had intended. And so I decided to do it. I won a Republican primary, then was elected to Congress November 2010. I served in Congress for 3 terms. And then in 2016, at the end of 2016, I came to work at NRCA and started there January 2nd, 2017.
Would you feel like you go back again to the politics or no?
I don't think so. I think I did my time. I did my penance. I think the political world is interesting. I'm fascinated by it. I'm frustrated by it. I'm cynical of it. But I think my time has come and gone. And now I'd like to spend more time getting to know my grandchildren better and spending time with my wife. I'm in my mid-60s, close to retirement. And I think from that point on, I'll just be a family guy.
How many kids do you have and grandkids?
I've got 2 children, 2 adults, both boys, and I've got 5 grandsons. So
whoa, you've been blessed, buddy.
A lot of boys. I'm the 6th son of 6 sons. My parents adopted 2 girls, and I had 2 boys and 5 grandsons, and so a lot of boys in my family over a century.
Any of them will be a roofer or be coming to the roofing industry or no?
The funny thing is, when my boys were in their teenage years, I asked them to come into the business with me, and both of them said no. They had their own dream, and they needed to pursue what they wanted to pursue. I would have loved to have had them come and be in business with me, but they chose a different career path. And they told me, Dad, I don't want to go in the roofing business because you work too hard. And so what they observed from me growing up was that I was working a lot. And then once they got away, they graduated from college, they learned that if you're going to be successful in anything you do, in any endeavor, you're going to work hard. And my 2 sons work harder than I do and work harder than I ever have. And so they've learned that and are doing quite well.
So you gave a good value for them. It's incredible. Another question I have for you is, what the NRCA represent to our roofing industry, and how the NRCA can help roofers, distributors, and manufacturers?
Yeah, sure. I mean, NRCA, the National Roofing Contractors Association, is a not-for-profit advocacy organization. And so when roofing contractors, manufacturers, distributors join the association, pay dues, we deploy those dues to advocate on behalf of the roofing industry here in the United States. And we advocate at the building codes, at the insurance industry. We advocate at the federal government, at both like OSHA, Department of Labor, with Congress, with the White House, all trying to create a landscape where roofing contractors and roofing industry stakeholders can be as successful as possible. And so that when the rules are written by these various agencies, they're written with our voice at the table. And that's what we do. And so no individual company or roofing company or manufacturer could do that. And so collectively, we associated ourselves together to do it all together. That way, everyone pays just a little bit, but they get a lot of bang for that buck.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I was actually sad that the roofing day got canceled due to the coronavirus. I was supposed to be there, but that's another story, you know.
We'll do it again next year.
Yes. Another question I have for you. What do you see for the future of our roofing industry and for the NRCA?
Yeah, well, for the industry, the NRCA and the industry are connected. If the industry is doing well, NRCA typically does well. And so for us, I believe that the industry is moving toward a new era of sustainability and resiliency. As climate change begins to impact our world, you're going to see roofing manufacturers and contractors ultimately installing roofs that perform better in high wind and hail and in the types of storms that we're seeing in an ever-increasing way. And so I think the future also is in sustainability with solar integrated products where the building itself becomes the power plant to generate the electricity to keep that building operational. And the roofing industry will be at the front end of that. And also you could even talk about water management, retaining water on a roof so it doesn't go in the storm sewer and have to be treated. And so there's a lot of places that the roofing industry intersects with how Americans live their lives, from less pollution, higher quality, cleaner water, better quality air, and roofs that last longer. So I believe that all these things are connected, and NRCA will be at the front of that, advocating and setting the pathway so that roofers and roofing manufacturers and distributors can benefit from it.
Great words. I got one final question. Any message out there for the people watching this video, maybe the new generation, could be also towards the coronavirus, because right now that's the topic of everything, right?
Yeah. I guess my word is to come and visit us at nrca.net. There's just a whole world of information that's available to any roofing industry stakeholder. And if you're really interested in what's going on in COVID, with the coronavirus, we have a separate page dedicated just to that. It's free of charge. You don't have to be a member of NRCA. We'd love to have you join, but you don't have to be a member of NRCA to get access to all these resources that are there. And during this time, NRCA will continue to be the voice of roofing contractors everywhere across the country, making sure that as we come out of this crisis, they're going to be set to go back to work full force.
All right. Thank you very much, buddy. It was a pleasure talking to you. Hope to see you next year at, or maybe, I don't know if it get canceled or not, on June or July, I guess, the meeting.
Yes, we hope to see you in July.
It was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for your time.